Hey everyone, it's Rob Ryder on Monday, the 23rd of December, 2024. Merry Christmas to all and happy holidays. Donald John Trump, I need to talk to you, sir. A pardon is not presidential. I can prove it. Give me just a minute. Well, who are you? I'm Ritluski Robert Allen, DOD ID number 12112800006, sir, an indefinite enlistee. And you said in a law in 2019 that you signed into law, it's implied that we've been in a continuous war since 1941, and everyone who's ever enlisted since then is still enlisted because of Title 10, United States Code, Section 506, which says if you enlist during a war, or a war starts when you're enlisted, you stay enlisted until the war's over. And so forth and so on. But I'm also known as Rob Ryder. Email address quarterrecord at AOL.com. And you can find my other videos on YouTube at Rob Ryder with 3 B's, ROBBBRYDER on YouTube. And Rumble, hey, I got it figured out. I made a mistake, and so I changed it to Rob Ryder, ROBBRYDER. Okay, so what am I talking about, sir? It's quite obvious by looking at the pardon that I can see that Joe Biden did. It's not presidential. And I'm going to show you that now. Give me just a second. And hopefully so you'll understand my position, sir. This is the oath of enlistment that I took. And as you can see that I'm going to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against enemies foreign and domestic, including esquires. Oh, it doesn't say that in there, but they could be an enemy. And that I'm going to obey the orders of the President of the United States. That seems pretty simple. I'm going to do it by the officers appointed over me and according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Well, the problem is they won't let me use the Uniform Code of Military Justice, or I'd be taking care of this shit right now. Because I can go read a regulation, see what it says, say, hey, you're not following the regulation. Well, guess what? That's a violation of UCMJ. I'm going to file charges and specifications and let the system take care of it. But they won't let me do that, sir. Even though I am an enlistee indefinitely, and I took this oath. So anyways, as you can see, again, Constitution of the United States and President of the United States. So then we go to the Manual of Court Martials, has in Appendix A a copy of the Constitution. And it says in Article 2 that the executive power shall be vested in the President of the United States. Well, check, that's good for me. And together with the Vice President chosen for the same term, be elected as follows. See, term has not been defined there. It just says term. And, before you enter the execution of the office, right, you're going to take this oath. I do solemnly swear I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, defend the Constitution of the United States. First of all, sir, there's no place to put your name in. There's no place to say, I, Donald John Trump. And there's no so help me God at the end. And yet, that's what you did last time you took this oath. So don't do it this time. Please. Just say it the way it is. But what it says is you're going to be execute the office of the President of the United States. And support and defend, or protect and defend, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Well, very good. Why is that an issue? Well, because it isn't like that every place. Here's another Constitution. This is the one that the Congress uses. In their Constitution, it says the executive power shall be vested in a President of the United States of America. And he shall hold his office during the term of 4 years. Well, it didn't say that in the other one. It just said during the term. This one restricts you to 4 years. The other one didn't. And not only that, but I do solemnly swear. So it has the same oath that says President of the United States, Office of President of the United States. Then why up here does it say President of the United States of America? It doesn't make any sense, sir. And yet, this is the Constitution of the United States of America that came from the House, or the U.S. Code.house.gov website. Whereas this one came from a secure uh, source out of the, where was this one from? The Marines. Right. So the Marines say that this is the Constitution that they're going to support and defend, and it's not the same one that the Congress does. And why is that? Well, the people in Congress now did not execute the oath they're supposed to take to satisfy the Sixth Article of the Constitution, which was written in the very first law of the United States, commonly known as 1 Stat 23. We're in the Acts of the First Congress of the United States. It said that the oath or affirmation required by the Sixth Article of the Constitution of the United States shall be administered in the following form, to wit, right? I, hey, they got a place to put your name in, A, B. Although the A may be your name and the B may be a authenticator, like a social security number or something like that. I don't exactly know what they meant by A.B back when they did it, but they put it in there. And do solemnly swear affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States. That is the only oath that satisfies the Sixth Article of the Constitution. And none of the people who are claiming to hold an office that you would say, well, that's an office under the Sixth Article of the Constitution. They have not taken this oath. Nobody in Congress has taken this oath. And it's not just Congress. I mean, this is every state officer has to have taken this oath. There isn't anybody anywhere that's taken this oath. So if we're not going to enforce the first law of the United States, sir, then why are we even pretending? I mean, for God's sakes, George Washington put this into law. We're not going to do what the George Washington said? I can't believe that. This is in the United States statutes at large, which makes it a law of the United States. And under the Constitution, then, it's a supreme law of the land. This has to be done. To not do this is warring with the Constitution. Because we allow that fictitious bullshit to happen, right? We don't nip it in the bud. It's bloomed now to where we just do whatever the hell we want. And, well, now President Joseph R. Biden Jr., that's not the name that he used when he put it in the oath. He said his name. He didn't use no R. Didn't say Junior. Right? So this isn't the same office he talked about when he pretended taking the oath. But it's a clemency receipt. It says he's going to give 39 pardons, 1,499 commutations. And that news just recently got Charlie Kirk to say, well, I'm increasingly worried Biden's going to blanket pardon every single illegal alien in the country before he leaves office. It didn't take long for somebody to pipe up and say, well, that won't change their immigration status. DJT will deport everyone here without immigration status. Well, I don't know that that's the issue. The issue is the pardons that Biden issued, are they presidential? And I say they're not. I'm going to show you why right now. So this is the pardon for Robert Hunter Biden. But actually, it's not a pardon. It's an executive grant of clemency. Right? The Constitution talks about a pardon. It doesn't say anything about an executive grant of clemency. It says that the president can pardon people. Why isn't it called a presidential pardon? And then we go down here and read the in testimony whereof. You know, all this stuff is supposed to be like by a formula. It has to be properly done. It's all common law. It should have been done in the Court of Chancery. All these bits and pieces have to be specifically done for this to have any legal effect. And if we're going to say that they did, then what it says here is that in testimony whereof, I have hereunto signed my name and caused the pardon to be recorded in the Department of Justice. Well, that doesn't mean anything. Doesn't even have a seal on it. I mean, I know it has the seal of the Department of Justice on it, but he didn't say that for him to put the seal on it. He just, here, record it. Not issue it, just record it someplace. Right? It's a freaking prop. That's all it is. Unfortunately, though, Biden wasn't the only one. A guy named Donald J. Trump. The same guy who said, I, Donald John Trump, now says he's Donald J. Trump on this executive grant of clemency. In his testimony whereof he says, I have hereunto signed my name and caused the seal of the Department of Justice to be affixed. Well, at least that's closer. I could say, well, this is more like, okay, we're at war, and this is being done by the president as the commander-in-chief, and he's issuing it through the Department of Justice. Right? That we don't have a constitutional form of government. That must be what it is, because the people in Congress don't have a proper oath of office. There's nobody in the Department of Justice that has a proper oath of office. They all take the same oath of office that a commissioned officer takes. It's in 5 U.S.C. 3331. And it says, so help me God. And at the end of it, it says that this doesn't affect any other oaths required. So anybody working in the federal government needs to be taking the oath as in 1 Stat 23, and they're not. They're going to be an executive or judicial officer or a member of Congress. You need to take the oath. They're going to be a state representative, legislature, executive officer, judicial officer of the state. You got to take the oath of 1 Stat 23. Nobody's done it. So we don't have a constitutional government. We have some kind of wartime government. Or we've been overrun and, we're being run by esquires, which technically is a crown agent working for the crown. And they've taken over our legal system, and they're just confiscating all our wealth. So that's a fact, sir. Department of Justice, right? You did it too. So, okay. Is that what it should be? That's what is that how we've always done it? Has it always said Department of Justice? Let's go find out. So here's the important side of a pardon that was done by Abraham Lincoln. It says that in testimony whereof I have hereunto signed my name and caused the seal of the United States to be affixed. Well, that would make much more sense. I mean, it says in the Constitution that the president can pardon, so that's the United States talking, so it should be under the seal of the United States. And that's what that is, a great seal of the United States. Or, an image of it. But it certainly doesn't say anything about the Department of Justice. But you weren't alone, Donald John Trump, because John Fitzgerald Kennedy did it as JFK, JF Kennedy. I hereunto sign my name and cause the seal of the Department of Justice to be affixed. Well, that's the same thing that you did. So, at least as far back as JFK, we were still doing it. And you go back further in time and say, well, look at Franklin D. Roosevelt. Now, how did he do it? I hereunto sign my name and cause the seal of the Department of Justice to be affixed. Well, Lincoln did it under the seal of the President, or under the seal of the United States. You all are doing it under the seal of the Department of Justice. When did this happen? In fact, I went all the way back to 1894 and with Grover Cleveland. And it's still Department of Justice. But there's an interesting thing about Grover Cleveland. He's just like you, sir, where he was two-time president with somebody sandwiched in between. Their own little Oreo cookie. So if we take a minute and go back and look at our presidents, here's Grover Cleveland. And it says he was the 22nd and 24th president, serving from 1885 to 1889, and then from 1893 to 1897. Let's go back and look at the date on that pardon, and we'll see which one of those terms it fell into. It was 1894, so this is in his second go-around, just like you're going into now, Donald John Trump, your second time around. Same with him. And at that time, he did it as the Department of Justice. Well, guess what he did the first time around? That's right. He used the seal of the United States. So the first time that, in his first term, Grover Cleveland used the seal of the United States. The second time, Grover Cleveland used the seal of the Department of Justice. And this was done in 1888, which was, yes, that was in his first term. All right, 1894, Department of Justice. 1888, the Great Seal. So, as we can see then, there's Grover Cleveland, he's 22nd and 24th, and in between him is Benjamin Harrison. And unfortunately, I cannot find a picture of a pardon, with the seal on it that Benjamin Harrison did. All right, so I'm looking now. Say I went to Benjamin Harrison Pardons and just went under images, and well, that didn't work. Just go under all. So I'm sure that he has them somewhere, but not all these, things can be found online. The fact that he was a Mormon, does that have anything to do with it? Well, let's say a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, commonly known as a Mormon. Could that have anything to do with it? I don't know. Did he change something? The guy before him was the same guy after him, and before him he used to steal the United States, and after him he didn't. So what the hell happened? Either Cleveland or Harrison did it. One of the two during their terms is why this has happened, and somebody should find out why. Why did we start using a different seal? And so, I do the best I can to figure it out, but I don't have the resources that an Elon Musk has or somebody else to get somebody with some resources to look into it. That's all I know. So this is how fucked up this United States is, sir. Here's the Constitution I'm supposed to follow with you as the President of the United States. And you all over there jacking around with people that are in the Constitution of the United States of America, who haven't taken a proper oath. Why? Why are we doing this? Just, call in the military. I told J.D. Vance in the last video I did to him, he just needs to go over as Corporal Vance and tell him that he wants to file specifications and charges under Article 30 of the UCMJ, 30 or 32. I think one of them is the investigation, the other one's the charges. Whatever one's the charges, go put them in. Right? Say it's a fraud against the United States. That's a military crime. Pretty simple. And, then you can get an investigation by somebody other than the FBI and get justice from somebody other than, somebody sitting in a fictitious civilian court. And, sir, this shit's got to come to an end. We can't have no posers, man. You're Donald John Trump, President of the United States. Please. All right, make him tighten up their act. This is why you need to have veterans oversee the administrative state. Because we ain't going to do the administration, but we can make sure other people do it. I can read their regulations and tell you if they're doing it right. If they're not, I know what to do. I'll take them to the military court. Right? You want to get things straightened out, just put veterans in charge of babysitting the administrative state, and we can use the American Legion and the VFW and places like that to organize the situation on it. But first of all, you got to be Donald John Trump, President of the United States, or you can't do anything for me. Okay, sir. Salute the flag and have a great day. Merry Christmas.